Okay, so today, let's um let's do a deep dive into something kind of interesting. It's a career path you might not think about every day, but it's something we all experience. We're diving into the world of restaurant hosts and hostesses.
Oh, interesting.
We've got all these RoleCatcher articles. They actually have a ton of information on this, and you might think, okay, restaurant host, how complicated can it be?
Right.
You're just showing people to their tables.
Yeah. You just greet them and take them to the table.
Yeah, but it turns out
It's more than that.
there's way more to it
Okay.
than meets the eye.
I mean, it's true. It is a role that people don't really think about too much, but it's so important
Yeah,
to the whole dining experience, really.
it's so true. And I was thinking about this the other day. You've had a crazy day.
Yeah.
You are starving. You walk into a restaurant. Maybe you're a little stressed.
Yeah.
And then boom, there's this friendly face.
Yeah.
They remember your name. Oh, how was that presentation?
Alvin Pokham. Welcome back.
Yeah, they remember you. How's the family? It can totally shift your whole mood.
Yeah,
No.
for sure. And, that's what these RoleCatcher guides were talking about. They were calling the host the director of first impressions,
Oh, interesting.
which I thought was a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
Because the host really does set the tone for everything.
Totally.
That first interaction, that can make or break the whole experience for the guest.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But let's be real.
Yeah.
It's not always smooth sailing. What about those nights where the restaurant is packed? I mean, people are hungry, there's a 2-hour wait.
Oh, yeah.
How do hosts handle that? Like, that's a pressure cooker.
It's definitely a tough aspect of the job.
Yeah.
And the articles talk about how common it is to deal with difficult customers,
Oh, I bet.
especially when it's really busy.
Yeah.
You've got people who are hungry, they're getting really impatient.
Angry.
Hangry, exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe someone's trying to cut the line or something. It's like
Yeah.
all these different personalities.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, everyone has encountered but we called a headline.
Oh, every host has a million stories.
Yes.
But, the guide really stresses that no matter what happens, no matter what's thrown at you, stay calm.
Oh, I bet.
Like, that's a big thing. Active listening is also really important.
Right.
Like, really try to understand where the guest is coming from, even if they're being completely unreasonable.
So it's not just about smiling and bearing it. There's like a real skill to de-escalating.
Totally, yeah. And knowing when to involve a manager is also important.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta,
You need backup.
you need backup. You need a fresh perspective. Or someone who has a little bit more authority maybe can help calm the situation down.
Yeah.
So grace under pressure, it's not just a saying, it's real.
It's a must-have.
It's a must-have.
Speaking of must-haves skills, I did notice that the RoleCatcher articles mention technology playing a much bigger role these days.
For sure.
They were talking about online reservation systems, apps for managing wait lists, and even AI being used.
Like, whoa.
Interesting.
For things like table optimization.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge trend we're seeing.
Yeah.
And I think it's really changing things for hosts.
For sure.
Yeah, because the job description might not say, must be a tech expert, but being adaptable and being tech savvy is becoming more and more important.
Right. Totally. So it's almost like you need to be kind of a tech person, even if you're not, literally coding.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to be a programmer or anything, but you got to be comfortable using the systems
Right.
and understanding how they impact, the flow of the restaurant and how things work.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and the guide even had an example. They were saying if you use reservation software well,
Oh, okay.
you can really cut down wait times and get people seated faster.
Oh, that makes sense.
And that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge part of the host's job, is making sure the right tables are available at the right time.
I've never thought about it like that. It's like a big game of Tetris.
But with tables and hungry people.
Exactly. And, if you're good at that Tetris, if you can manage the chaos,
Yeah.
it can actually impact your career.
Oh, really? I always thought of being a host or hostess as an entry-level position, like
Yeah.
a high school job or something.
That's what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
But actually, these RoleCatcher guides, they were saying that it could be a stepping stone
Really?
to a lot of different things.
Wow. I'm really curious now, what kind of career paths are we talking about?
Oh, they broke it down into 3 main stages. So you start with the entry level,
Right.
then you move up to junior host or hostess, and then senior.
Oh, okay. So there's even a path within being a host.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And as you get more experience,
Yeah.
you move up, you get more responsibility. You might even end up training new hosts.
Mentoring.
Mentoring, yeah, exactly.
So there is room to grow even in that same role.
Yeah, for sure.
But what about beyond that? Like, could you go from being a host to some other job in the restaurant?
That's where all those skills you're learning really come into play. Think about it when you're a host. You're always talking to people, solving problems, thinking on your feet.
That's true.
You're basically managing a team.
Even if it's just like the bussers or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And all of that translates to a lot of other jobs. You could end up supervising, maybe even a manager,
Oh, wow.
you know?
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's not just about taking reservations and smiling.
Yeah.
You're learning really important stuff about how to deal with people, how to manage expectations.
It's true.
That's huge no matter what you do.
In any industry.
Exactly.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and they even mentioned in the guide a couple of hosts who went on to do their own thing. They started catering companies.
Oh, cool.
One even opened their own restaurant.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So it seems like you really can, if you're driven, if you work hard, you could do a lot. Speaking of which, I did notice they were talking about salary in these RoleCatcher articles. And there's this number that really caught my eye. They said a potential salary for an AI-assisted optimized host role could be $49,000.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty interesting because a lot of times people think of this job as kind of a low-wage job.
Yeah, you don't usually associate hosts with making a ton of money.
Yeah, exactly. So this was really interesting. And it seems like maybe technology
Yeah.
is kind of changing things.
Absolutely, yeah. It's changing the skills you need and how much you can make.
But what does AI-assisted even mean? Like,
Right.
what is an optimized host? What does that even look like? It sounds so futuristic. Is the AI, like, taking orders or something?
Well, not quite.
Okay.
Not yet, at least. The articles were talking more about using AI behind the scenes.
Oh.
Like to make things more efficient. So think about all the data a restaurant has, reservations, table sizes.
Right.
Even like how long people usually spend eating at different times.
Right.
All that data, the AI can use that
Okay.
and help the host make better decisions while they're working.
Oh, interesting.
So like maybe it suggests the best table to seat someone who just walked in without a reservation.
Okay.
So you can keep the wait times down for everyone else. Or it could even predict how many servers you're going to need at different times.
So it's almost like having a super efficient manager.
Yeah,
But it's like an AI.
exactly.
Powered by algorithms instead of coffee.
Exactly. And that kind of efficiency, it's good for everyone, right? The restaurant runs smoother, customers are happier, and it probably means the hosts end up making more money too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that $49,000 figure that they mentioned, it probably includes tips and maybe even bonuses on top of the regular salary.
Wow. That is really interesting. It shows you how technology is changing everything, even jobs you wouldn't think of as tech jobs.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this has been really fascinating. I had no idea there was so much to being a restaurant host.
It's really a great example of how a job can look simple from the outside.
Yeah, totally.
But there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, you don't really know until you really dig in.
Exactly.
And it makes you appreciate those hidden heroes of the dining experience.
Yeah, I know, right?
The next time I'm at a restaurant, I'm going to be looking at the host totally differently.
Yeah.
Knowing that they're not just like checking reservations, they're really managing the whole flow.
They're like the conductor of an orchestra,
I love that.
making sure it all comes together.
Yes, a symphony of service. All right, so listeners, next time you have an amazing dining experience, take a minute to appreciate the host. They might just be the maestro of your delicious evening. And hey, if you're looking for a career change and you love making people feel welcome, maybe this deep dive has inspired you to check out the world of restaurant hosting. You never know what doors it might open.